Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry. And CJ, what have you got in your mouth? That's Calamity Jane right there. She's always picking things up and gobbling them down, that sort of thing. Anyway, it's a Saturday. There's Jesse James. And I just mowed my lawn. And we had a rain come through here a couple hours ago, and it cleared up and the sun is shining. So anyway, what is this? You're looking at that thinking, never seen one of those before, and you probably haven't. I've been dragging this thing around for many, many years, and I've thought of getting rid of it a few times, and then, well, it just sits in actually, it's been sitting in my shed for the longest while, and I've had it for 15 or 20 years. When I bought it, it was actually at a vacuum repair store, and they had 2 or 3 of them in there, and they used to be owned by the school board, apparently, and I think I paid around $300 for it or something like that, which at the time seemed like a lot of money, but I actually used it quite a lot. Where I primarily used it was when I did commercial jobs with lots of stairwells. This little machine works very well on stairwells and for the steps, obviously. And that was prior to using the Oreck, because the Oreck 25 years ago or so, 25 years ago, just wasn't a thing. I mean, they were out there, but I guess we didn't really realize what their abilities were, etc. So, and at the time, when I first started 28 years ago, the Oreck was not on the radar either. The stepson was not out yet. And most of us were using, who were doing VLM, we would go and buy those little car polishers from, well, in my case, in Canada, we bought them from Canadian Tire, and they weren't very powerful, but they worked more or less. Anyway, steps were a real problem until I think the very first real serious stair machine that I bought was a stepson, which, there's one sitting right here. This is actually my original one. The pad driver's off it right there. It has a cord issue. One day I'll fix it. I have another one in the van anyway. So anyway, that's the stepson. They're a great machine. I use mine as backup in case the Oreck fails, which it has done once anyway when a wire broke on it. But anyway, so prior to that, there wasn't much option for doing steps, and particularly if you're doing a lot of steps in a condo building, you got 4 or 8 or, well, I guess 10 or 12 flights of stairs up a high-rise building. There weren't too many options, but anyway, I bought this thing, and it works really well, and it's odd. This is an English-made machine, and it's called a, can you see that? Sprite 300. And it's odd. Well, it's small, obviously. It is a belt drive. You can tell because the motor is back offset from the pad driver, which is, or the driving mechanism there. And there's an adjustment on the bottom, I think. Yeah, right here on the bottom here. I can adjust the tension on the belt. And the other thing about it that's kind of threw me off when I bought it was, how can you use it? The handle doesn't go up and down, but actually it works perfectly well, just like that. So, and when it runs nice and quiet and smooth and no problem at all. But for doing steps, it actually works very well, and you're going down the stairwells, and then there's a landing, and then, down the next set, and it really works quite well. I have no regret buying it. It worked great for the commercial applications, and then when you're using it, I would stand down a step or two, and you can handle it. You can see I got a handle right there to hold on to it, and then you kind of do the step 1 or 2 above, and down you go, and it worked great. And it came with this very nice grill brush. And I've never used it, but I got a small job, residential job coming up where I'm doing some grout cleaning, and I was thinking about it, and I realized, hey, wait a minute, I got this little machine here. I can use that. I could use the Oreck as well, but yeah, I might just use this thing. Because look how nice that brush is. Anyway, and then here's the pad driver, of course. And it's quite an unusual pad driver. Look at that interesting way they did that. Little wires stuck into a glue back thing. And it's kind of sprung. I'm not sure if it's foam in there or... I don't think it's foam. I don't know. Maybe it actually is springs. I don't know. But interesting. So let's turn it on and we'll run it across the floor. Let's just see it in action. It's got an unusual clutch, but you know, it's English, so what do you expect? And I'm assuming it's 300 RPM because it says right on it. 2 places on there and on the pad driver there, it's 300, so. And away you go. So very light, very easy to maneuver, and I guess with that kind of the spring-loaded thing, it really makes it a very smooth machine to use. I'm just using one hand, you see. And there's a I guess you could have you could get a tank for it because there's a lever here, but it's not attaching to anything. At least I assume that's what it would have been for. But yeah, interesting machine, eh? So let's we'll turn it off and drop it back. Take that off. We'll try the brush. See how the brush feels. But you know, if I'm doing you know, I'm in somebody's house and I'm you know, doing their bathroom and stuff like that, and that thing's what is that, 10 inches wide, 12 inches wide, and the brush, and look at that, see how it flares out nicely, so I'll be able to get right up to the edges. I think this might just be the ticket for these smaller kind of jobs. Let me see if I got my tape measure here. There it is, gone. Anyway, it's not over there. Actually, it might be in here. Oh dear. Well, it's here somewhere. So that's about, I think it's at least 10 inches. Well, it's more than 9, that's for sure. I have a tendency to put my tool right down where I was using it and then not find it for a while. Anyway, so although I usually have it right here. My bad. It's here. So I think I think I'll be using it. I was thinking of getting rid of it, like I said, but I can see that this would work really well under the right circumstances. So, and it's obviously long ago bought and paid for, so I'll hang on to it, and maybe when I'm able to use it, I've got this job coming up in a couple of weeks, and maybe I'll be able to video that and you can see it in action. So anyway, I thought you might enjoy that. So thank you for watching and have a good day.